The massive engines of the Pathfinder hummed as Captain Alan Grant stood on the bridge. His eyes were fixed on the main screen where stars streaked by like bright lines. The year was 2157, and humanity had just built their first faster-than-light ship. "Captain, we're approaching Alpha Centauri," said Lisa Dawson, the science officer. Her fingers moved quickly across her control panel. "Good. Slow to half speed," Grant replied. He straightened his blue uniform and looked at his crew. They were the best Earth had to offer: scientists, soldiers, and explorers ready to make history. No human had ever gone this far from Earth. The Pathfinder was humanity's pride, built after decades of hard work. Its silver hull shone in the light of the distant stars. "Sir, I'm picking up a strange signal," Greg Martins said from the communication station. His face showed surprise. "It's not random. It has a pattern." Grant walked over to Martinez's station. "Are you sure?" "Yes, sir. It's coming from the fourth planet." The bridge grew quiet. Everyone knew what this could mean. "Set course for the signal source," Grant ordered. "All stations on alert." As they approached the planet, they saw it, a large metal structure floating in space. It wasn't made by human hands. The station was built with smooth curves and glowing blue lights. "Scan it," Grant said. Lisa worked her controls. "It's made of materials we don't know. And, sir, there are life signs inside." Just then, a beam of light hit the Pathfinder. The crew tensed, but their systems showed no damage. "It's a communication beam," Martinez said. "They're trying to talk to us." The main screen flickered and showed an image that made the crew gasp. A being with cat-like features looked at them. It had golden fur, pointed ears, and large green eyes. "Greetings, humans," it said in perfect English. "I am Ambassador Zorn of the Xorlian people. We represent the Galactic Council." "How do you know our language?" Grant asked. "We have been watching your world for some time," Zorn replied. "We did not expect you to develop faster-than-light travel on your own. Most species need help." Grant straightened his back. "We are the United Earth Space Force. We come in peace." The alien's expression changed slightly. "Interesting. The Council will want to meet you. No new species has developed space travel without guidance in over 5,000 years. We accept your invitation," Grant said carefully. "Good," Zorn replied. "Follow our beacon to the Nexus station. The Council of 27 species awaits. They will be most surprised by your arrival." As the transmission ended, the crew looked at each other. They had just made first contact with alien life. "Set course for their station," Grant ordered, "and send a message to Earth. Tell them we're not alone anymore." The Pathfinder turned, following the alien signal into the unknown depths of space. The Pathfinder arrived at Nexus Station 3 days later. The human crew stared in awe at the massive structure. It was shaped like a wheel with spokes going out from a center hub. The station was bigger than any city on Earth. "It must be at least 50 miles across," Lisa whispered as their ship approached a docking bay. Captain Grant nodded. "Stay sharp, everyone. We're guests here, but keep your eyes open." Earth had sent a diplomatic team to join them. Ambassador Susan Miller led the group as they prepared to meet the alien council. She was a tall woman with gray hair and a calm face. "Remember," she told the team, "we represent all of humanity now." When they stepped off the ship, aliens of all shapes and sizes were waiting. Some had scales, others fur. Some floated in the air, while others moved on many legs. The humans tried not to stare. Ambassador Zorn greeted them. "Welcome to Nexus Station. The Council is eager to meet you." John Ramirez, the security chief, noticed something odd. Among the colorful welcome party, he saw guards with weapons. They tried to stay hidden, but his trained eyes spotted them. "This way, please," Zorn said, leading them through huge hallways. The station was amazing. Moving walkways carried them past gardens with strange plants, Holographic signs floated in the air. In some areas, gravity changed so people could walk on walls. Yet Ramirez also saw that not all aliens were treated the same. Some bowed to others. Some wore simple clothes while others had rich decorations. "These are the council chambers," Zorn announced as they reached massive doors made of a blue metal. "The three founding races wait inside: the Chlorlians, the Vectari, and the Dronari." The doors opened to show a round room, with seats rising in circles. Hundreds of alien representatives watched as the humans entered. At the center was a raised platform with 3 large chairs. Ambassador Miller walked forward with Captain Grant. The humans felt small under the gaze of so many alien eyes. "Humans of Earth," said a tall, blue alien with 4 arms. "I am High Chancellor Drek of the Vectari. With my fellow leaders, we welcome you to the galactic community." A second alien, with scales and a long neck, spoke next. "I am Supreme Elder Varric of the Dronari. Your arrival is unexpected." The third alien was a Chlorlian like Zorn, but older with silver fur. "I am Grand Matriarch Kyla. Together we form the triumvirate that guides all civilized species." Ambassador Miller stepped forward. "On behalf of Earth, we thank you for this welcome." "Come," said Drek. "We have much to discuss about your place in our order." As they moved toward a meeting room, Ramirez leaned close to Captain Grant. "Sir," he whispered, "something doesn't feel right. They're too interested in us." Grant nodded slightly. "I know. Stay alert." The meeting room was large with a round table in the center. The walls showed moving images of stars and planets. The 3 council leaders sat on one side while the humans sat on the other. "Your species has achieved something rare," said Drek of the Vectari. His 4 blue arms moved as he spoke. "You developed faster than light travel without help." Ambassador Miller smiled. "It took us many years of hard work. We're proud of what we've built." "As you should be," said Varric, the scaled Dronari. "But now you have joined the larger community. There are benefits to this." Kyla, the silver-furred Chlorlian, touched a panel. A hologram appeared above the table showing many planets. "The Council protects 24 younger species besides our 3 founding races. We offer technology, defense, and cultural exchange." Captain Grant leaned forward. "What kind of technology?" "Medical advances that can extend life by hundreds of years," said Drek. "Energy sources that make your nuclear power look like fire sticks. Weapons that could protect you from any threat." Miller's eyes widened. This was more than they had hoped for. Earth would be very interested in peaceful exchange. The 3 council members looked at each other. Then Varric spoke. "Of course, there is a cost to these benefits." "We expected that," Miller said. "Earth is prepared to offer fair trade." "Good," said Kyla. "All protected species pay annual tribute to the Council. For Earth, we require 30% of your planet's resources: minerals, food, water, and workers." The humans sat in stunned silence. 30% of everything would cripple Earth's economy. "That's quite high," Miller said carefully. "There are also some restrictions." Drek continued as if she hadn't spoken. "Protected species may not develop certain technologies without approval. Military ships will be limited in size and number." Miller frowned. "That sounds more like control than protection." "It is the same arrangement all younger species agree to," said Varric. His long neck stretched forward. "It is for everyone's safety." "This isn't what we expected," Miller said. "We came hoping for equal partnership." Kyla laughed, showing sharp teeth. "Equal? You've barely left your solar system. The Council has ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years." Captain Grant spoke up. "If we refuse these terms..." The room darkened. The wall screens changed to show massive warships. Hundreds of them, each larger than Earth's biggest cities. "This is one battle fleet," said Drek. "We have 12. No species has ever refused Council protection." John Ramirez's hand moved closer to his weapon, but Grant signaled him to stay calm. You should understand something, Varric said. Most protected species didn't develop FTL travel alone. We uplift promising races, guide them. Independent development like yours is rare and concerning. Why concerning? Miller asked. Unguided species can be unpredictable, said Kyla. The terms we offer are generous considering the risk you might pose. Miller stood up straight. Earth needs time to consider this offer. Of course, said Drek. We will give you 1 standard month. Return with your answer and the first tribute payment. The meeting ended, and the humans were escorted back to their ship. Once aboard the Pathfinder with privacy shields activated, they gathered on the bridge. This isn't a diplomatic offer, Miller said. It's a demand for submission. Did you see those ships? Lisa Dawson asked. They could destroy Earth easily. Maybe, said Grant. But did anyone else notice something? They seemed worried about us developing FTL travel on our own. Ramirez nodded. They called it concerning. They're afraid of something. We need to get back to Earth, Miller said. The whole planet needs to hear about this. We have 1 month to decide if we pay their tribute or... She didn't finish the sentence. She didn't need to. Everyone knew the alternative might be war with a force far beyond Earth's power. As the Pathfinder pulled away from Nexus Station, Grant looked back at the massive structure. They expect us to return with our heads down and our hands full of tribute, he said quietly. I wonder what would happen if we didn't. The Pathfinder returned to Earth with news that shook the planet. Leaders from every nation gathered in the United Earth Government building in Geneva. The grand meeting hall was packed with men and women in formal clothes, all talking at once. Silence, please, called the Secretary General. The room quieted. Ambassador Miller will now share what the Council demands. Miller stood at the podium. Behind her, Captain Grant and his crew sat in a row. She explained the Council's terms: 30% of Earth's resources, limits on technology, and military restrictions. This is outrageous, shouted a representative from Africa. They ask us to become slaves. But can we refuse? Asked another from Asia. You saw their fleet. We would be crushed. General Frank Carter, head of Earth's military, stepped forward. I recommend immediate defense preparations. We may have only 1 month. To what end? Asked the European delegate. If their power is as great as reported, fighting is suicide. The debate raged for hours. Some wanted to submit, arguing that some freedom was better than destruction. Others refused to bow to alien demands, no matter the cost. We need more information, said Dr. Maria Vasquez, Earth's lead scientist. She displayed scans the Pathfinder had taken. Their technology is advanced, but not magic. Every system has weaknesses. In the back of the room, a young intelligence analyst named Kevin Wallace listened carefully. For days, he had studied the communication data from Nexus Station. Now he raised his hand. Sir, I found something strange in the Council's messages, he said when called upon. They don't seem as united as they want us to believe. There are coded transmissions between some Council members that the others don't know about. This caught everyone's attention. Intelligence Director Paul Jenkins nodded to Wallace. Go on. The Drenari seem unhappy with the Vectari leadership, and several of the protected species are secretly communicating with each other. I think there are cracks in the Council's unity. Jenkins added, we've also found historical records sent by someone on Nexus Station. The Council has followed this pattern for thousands of years. Demand tribute, restrict technology, and keep species dependent. So they're bullies, Grant said simply. They keep others weak to stay powerful. The room grew quiet as people considered this. What if, Vasquez said slowly, they're afraid of us for a reason. They said independent development is rare. Maybe it gives us an advantage they don't expect. General Carter nodded. Humans have always been good at one thing: adapting. We don't think like them. That could be our strength. But what can we do against such a powerful force? Asked Miller. Wallace spoke up again. The Council expects us to be scared. They've shown us their strength to make us surrender without a fight. But what if we surprise them? How? Asked the Secretary General. By saying no, Wallace replied. No species has ever refused them. They won't expect it. They would attack, Carter warned. Maybe, Jenkins said, or maybe not right away. They seemed concerned about human unpredictability. That gives us time. The Secretary General looked around the room. This is the biggest decision in human history. We need to vote. The debate continued through the night. Scientists studied the alien technology. Military leaders planned defenses. Intelligence officers looked for more weaknesses in the Council's unity. 3 weeks later, the decision was made. Earth would not submit. Instead, they would send a clear message. Ambassador Miller, the Secretary General said, you will return to Nexus Station with our answer. Captain Grant will take you on the Pathfinder. We have less than a week to prepare. As the meeting ended, Grant asked Miller, do you think this will work? She looked at him with determination in her eyes. I don't know, but I do know that humans don't bow easily. We're about to show the galaxy exactly what that means. The Pathfinder returned to Nexus Station exactly 1 month after their first visit. This time, Captain Grant's crew knew what to expect. No one smiled as they docked. Ambassador Miller wore a simple black uniform with Earth's symbol, a blue circle with olive branches. She carried no cases or containers. There was no tribute to present. Are you ready? Grant asked her as they prepared to leave the ship. Miller nodded, as ready as anyone can be to change history. Sorlian guards met them at the dock. They looked surprised to see the humans arrive with empty hands. The Council is waiting, said one guard. All Council members have gathered for this occasion. John Ramirez scanned the station as they walked. Security is tighter than before, he whispered to Grant. They have weapons ready. Grant nodded slightly. Stay alert, but no aggressive moves. Remember the plan. The Council chamber was packed. Unlike their first visit, now every seat was filled. Hundreds of alien representatives from all 27 species watched the humans enter. The triumvirate sat on their raised platform, looking down at Miller. Welcome back, humans, said Drek of the Vectari. We trust you bring Earth's answer and first tribute payment. The room was silent. Everyone waited. I bring Earth's answer, Miller said, her voice strong and clear. And the tribute? Asked Kayla, the Xorlian leader. Miller stood straight. The United Earth government has considered your terms carefully. Our response is simple. She paused, looking at each council leader in turn. No. The single word echoed in the silent chamber. Then noise erupted. Council members jumped to their feet. Some shouted. Others looked shocked. No. Varric of the Dronari repeated. His scaled face showed disbelief. What do you mean? No. The meaning is clear, Miller said. Earth refuses to pay tribute. We refuse to limit our development. We refuse to submit. Drek stood, his forearms shaking with anger. This is unacceptable. No species has ever refused the Council's protection. Perhaps that is the problem, Miller replied. You call it protection. We call it control. Grant watched the other aliens in the room. Among the anger, he saw something else in some faces, wonder and maybe hope. You understand the consequences of this decision? Kyla asked, her fur bristling. The Council has ways to deal with those who reject our leadership. We understand the risks, Miller said, but humans value freedom above safety. We would rather face danger as equals than live as servants. Varric leaned forward. You think your tiny world can stand against the Council? Your defiance will be your end. Perhaps, Miller said, but it will be our choice. Earth remains open to true partnership. We would gladly join a community of equals. We will not, however, surrender our independence. The three leaders turned to each other, speaking in low voices. The other council members continued to react with shock. Some of the younger species representatives watched Earth's team with new interest. Finally, Drek turned back. You have made a grave mistake. Return to your planet while you can. The Council will discuss how to respond to this insult. We will give you 1 standard year to reconsider, added Varric. After that, if Earth has not submitted, there will be consequences. Miller nodded. We understand. Good day. The human delegation turned and walked out of the chamber. No one stopped them. As they moved through the halls, Grant noticed aliens watching them. Some with fear, others with something like respect. Back on the Pathfinder, the crew wasted no time. Set course for Earth, Grant ordered. Maximum speed. As the ship pulled away from Nexus Station, Lisa Dawson looked at the scanner. No pursuit yet, Captain. They're too shocked, Miller said. They never expected anyone to say no. What happens now? Asked Greg Martinez from his station. Grant looked out at the stars as they accelerated toward home. Now we prepare. We have 1 year before they come for us. 1 year, Miller agreed. But we've done something important today. We've shown the galaxy that someone can stand up to the Council, and I think we won't be standing alone for long. Earth changed after the Pathfinder returned. The whole planet now knew they had 1 year before the Council might attack. Instead of panic, a wave of determination swept across nations. Admiral Olivia Wright stood in the massive underground command center in Colorado. Screens showed the status of Earth's growing defense fleet. We have 35 ships ready, she told the United Earth Defense Council. 10 more will be complete in 2 months. General Carter frowned. The Council has hundreds. We need an edge. And we might have one, said Dr. Vasquez as she entered the room. Follow me. She led them to a laboratory where scientists worked around a strange device. It glowed with blue light. We adapted this from the scans of Council technology, she explained. They use quantum communications to coordinate their fleets. This device can disrupt those signals. Will it work? Wright asked. In theory, but we need to test it against actual Council tech. In another part of the complex, Greg Martinez worked with a team of communication experts. They studied transmissions from space. I've made contact, he told Grant when the captain visited. 3 of the protected species have responded to our secret messages. They're afraid, but they want to help. What do they offer? Grant asked. Information, mostly. Maps of Council space. Details about their technology. And something else. The Council fleet is not as unified as they want us to believe. The 3 founding races don't fully trust each other. Kevin Wallace, the young analyst who had first spotted the Council's divisions, now led a special intelligence team. They worked day and night to find more weaknesses. The Guldori have reached out to us, he reported to Intelligence Director Jenkins. Who are they? I don't remember them from the Council. They're not members. They're an ancient race that stays neutral in Council matters. They say they've been watching Earth for centuries. Why contact us now? They respect our stand against the Council. They sent us technical data about Council ships. Their weapons are powerful, but their defenses have a weakness. They can't adapt quickly to new types of attacks. Earth's factories worked at full speed. New materials developed from alien data made stronger ships. Engineers created weapon systems unlike anything seen before. Ambassador Miller traveled to meet with leaders from all nations. We must stand together, she told them. This is not about one country or one continent. It's about all humanity. One day, John Ramirez rushed into Grant's office. Captain, we've detected something entering the solar system. Grant hurried to the command center where Admiral Wright was already watching the screens. What is it? He asked. A small ship, Wright answered. Not Council design. It's sending a message on our frequencies. The message played. People of Earth, we are the Teridian Trade Guild. The Council does not know we're here. We bring technology to trade and information you need. It could be a trap, Ramirez warned. Scan them, ordered Wright. The scans showed a ship with only 5 crew members. No weapons were active. Bring them in, Wright decided. Full security. The alien visitors were thin beings with gray skin and large eyes. They'd brought gifts, data crystals with Council security codes and plans for advanced shield technology. Why help us? Miller asked their leader. Your defiance gave others courage, the alien replied. Many watch to see if you survive. If Earth stands against the Council and lives, others will follow. As months passed, Earth's preparations continued. Then, 9 months after their defiant answer, long-range sensors detected movement. Admiral called a sensor operator. Multiple ships just entered the outer solar system. Council design. Wright's face hardened. How many? 50. No, 60 ships. A full battle group. They're 3 months early, Grant said. Then we'll just have to be ready early, Wright replied. She pressed a button that activated a global alert. All defense forces to battle stations. This is not a drill. Earth was about to face its greatest test. The Council was coming. The Council fleet took position near Jupiter. 60 warships, each larger than anything Earth had built, formed a battle line. Their metal hulls gleamed in the distant sunlight. In the command center, Admiral Wright studied the enemy formation. Earth's 43 ships seemed small in comparison as they gathered near Jupiter's largest moon. All ships report ready, said her second-in-command. The Pathfinder is in position. Wright nodded. Captain Grant and his crew had volunteered for the most dangerous part of the plan. Open a channel to the Council fleet, she ordered. A large alien face appeared on the main screen. He had the blue skin and 4 arms of a Vectari, but with more scars and decorations than they had seen before. I am Supreme Commander Zex of the Galactic Council Enforcement Fleet, he said. Earth has 3 days to surrender and begin tribute payments. The amount is now doubled for your defiance. This is Admiral Wright of the United Earth Defense Force. We request a meeting to discuss terms. Zex laughed. There is nothing to discuss. Submit or be destroyed. The screen went dark. Wright looked at her officers. He's confident. Good. Phase 1 begins now. On the Pathfinder, Grant and his crew moved into position behind one of Jupiter's smaller moons. Activate the stealth systems, he ordered. The ship vanished from normal sensors. Meanwhile, John Ramirez led a small team on a mission that had begun weeks earlier. They had used information from Earth's new allies to hack into the Council's communication system. We're in position, Ramirez reported from a hidden location on Nexus Station itself. Ready when you are. Dr. Vasquez's team activated their quantum disruptor. The massive device hummed to life, sending invisible waves across space. On the Council flagship, Zex was preparing attack orders when his screens flickered. What's happening? He demanded. Communications are failing, an officer replied. We can't reach half the fleet. Fix it, Zex shouted. Begin the attack. The Council ships moved forward, but their perfect formation fell apart. Without their quantum link, they couldn't coordinate properly. Now, ordered Wright. Earth's ships split into smaller groups. Instead of a direct attack, they executed a plan based on human military history. Like ancient armies using the land to their advantage, they used Jupiter's strong magnetic field and radiation belts. They're confused, said Grant as the Pathfinder emerged from hiding. Launch the drones. Hundreds of small unmanned ships flew from Earth vessels. They weren't powerful, but they didn't need to be. They targeted the Council ships' sensor arrays with precise hits. I don't understand, said a Council officer. Their weapons are primitive, but they're hitting exactly where we're weakest. Wright watched from the command center. Phase 2, begin. 10 Earth ships moved into Jupiter's upper atmosphere, using the giant planet's gravity to slingshot themselves at incredible speed toward the Council fleet. The maneuver was dangerous, but it gave them velocity no engines could match. The Council ships tried to respond, but without coordination, they fired too late. The Earth ships struck with weapons designed specifically for Council shields. 3 enemy ships disabled, reported Wright's tactical officer. 4 more damage. Just then, Ramirez's voice came through. Quantum virus uploaded. Their command codes are now public across all Council channels. Throughout Council space, the unthinkable happened. Encrypted orders became visible to everyone, including the subjugated species. The Council's private messages, their true plans for Earth and other worlds, were now exposed. Admiral called the communications officer. We're receiving transmissions from across the galaxy. 7 protected worlds are declaring independence from the Council. On his flagship, Zex received the reports with growing horror. Half his fleet was disabled or damaged. His communications were compromised. And now, rebellion was spreading. Pull back, he finally ordered. Regroup at Nexus Station. As the remaining Council ships retreated, cheers erupted in Earth's command center. They had stood against the galaxy's greatest power and survived. It's not over, Wright cautioned. But we've won the first battle. Grant's voice came through. The real victory isn't just here. Look at the communications. The whole galaxy is watching what humans just did. The impossible had happened. David had stood against Goliath, and the giants were running. 3 months after the battle at Jupiter, Earth hosted a historic meeting. Representatives from 12 alien worlds gathered in the Grand Hall of the United Earth Government building. The room buzzed with different languages as species that once feared each other now talked openly. Captain Grant watched from the side as Ambassador Miller took the stage. In the front row sat leaders from the 7 worlds that had declared independence after Earth's victory. The Teridians, the Palaxians, the Norvari, and others who had been protected species for centuries. Welcome to Earth, Miller said. 6 months ago, we stood alone against the Council. Today, we stand together as free worlds. A tall green alien stood. The Palaxian people thank Earth for its courage. Your one word, no, gave us strength to say it too. News from across the galaxy had spread quickly after the battle. The Council's unity had shattered. The Drenari had broken from the Triumvirate, calling for reform. Several Council worlds now wanted peace with Earth and its allies. What news of the Council fleet? Asked a Norvari representative. Admiral Wright stepped forward. They pulled back to their core systems. Our intelligence suggests they're divided on what to do next. John Ramirez, now promoted to security chief, added, the Vectari want to build a bigger fleet to crush us. But the Drenari are pushing for a different approach. As if on cue, the doors opened. A Drenari delegation entered, led by a familiar face. Supreme Elder Varric. The room tensed. Guards moved closer to the Earth leaders. I come in peace, Varric said, his long neck bending in what they now knew was a gesture of respect. The Drenari Council wishes to speak with equal voices, not threats. Miller nodded cautiously. We will listen, but as equals only. That is all we ask, Varric replied. The old Council is dying. The Vectari hold to the old ways, but many of us see that change must come. Dr. Vasquez studied the Drenari with open curiosity. Your people were founding members of the Council. Why change now? Because you showed us another way, Varric said simply. For 10,000 years, we believed power came from control. You proved that true strength comes from freedom. The meeting continued for days. Plans were made, ideas shared. Earth offered technology to those who needed it. In return, the other worlds shared their knowledge. On the final day, Miller presented a new treaty. We proposed the formation of the Galactic Concordat. Not a ruling council, but a true alliance of equals. Each world keeps its independence, but agrees to help others in need. One by one, the representatives signed. Even Varric added his name. Though he noted the Drenari could only speak for themselves, not all former council worlds. The Vectari will resist, he warned. They are gathering their forces. Let them come, said Admiral Wright. We'll be ready, and we won't be alone. As the ceremony ended, Grant found himself standing with Miller near a large window overlooking the city. Did you ever think one word could change so much? He asked her. She smiled. Sometimes one word is all it takes. They expected us to say yes and bow our heads. Our no shook their whole system. Kevin Wallace approached them with news. Captain, Ambassador, we've just received word that a new species has achieved spaceflight near the Teridian border. The Vectari are already sending ships to welcome them. Prepare the Pathfinder, Grant said immediately, and contact our allies. What are you planning? Miller asked. We're going to give them a proper welcome, Grant replied. Show them they have a choice, that the galaxy has changed. 1 month later, the young Breviary people watched in wonder as ships from Earth and 7 other worlds arrived at their planet. No demands were made. No tribute requested. Instead, Ambassador Miller spoke words that changed their future. Welcome to the stars. You are not alone, and you are free to choose your own path. The simple human word no had echoed across the galaxy, breaking chains thousands of years old. A new age had begun.